Okay, this is the USF San Francisco Dons Baseball Unlimited post-game wrap-up. As we just, in case you've just tuning in, the season is over for the University of San Francisco Dons. They ended up losing by a score of 4-1 this afternoon down at Jackie Robinson Field, dropping a 4-1 decision as the San Francisco Dons, champions of the West Coast Conference. They finished the 2011 baseball season with an overall record of 32-25. Their first outright, or their second championship, West Coast Conference championship in the program's history. Their first ever outright. And the Dons this afternoon, we're going to try to get some. We're going to recap that game, and we're also going to recap the season for the San Francisco Dons. Disappointing way to end the year, but those things happen. And after losing a tough one last night to UC Irvine, where they were one victory away from being in the driver's seat of winning the LA Regional, losing 4-3, knowing they coming back out here today. They were, as you were listening to Anthony Diarabura and Ryan McCrary on the USF Dons radio network on Yahoo broadcast, the Dons, just would not be able to muster enough offense, and they tried, but they have nothing to be ashamed about. A great season. Just a week ago, we were celebrating the West Coast Conference championship. First time they got to do a full celebration on the field, but the Dons, when you look back at the season for San Francisco, when you look back in around early, mid-April, it was probably the low point when they lost 2 out of 3 to St. Mary's, and losing, blowing a 4-0 lead on a Friday, as the Gales scored 9 unanswered runs to win that game. Then to blow I think it was 4-0 or 5-0, and they scored 9 unanswered runs. Then to blow a 4-0 lead, and then the Gales just came back and scored 5 unanswered runs. So you look at it. You look at it, but the Dons, after then they lose a 10-0, where they just played horrible defense, and they just stunk it up that night down at Municipal Stadium down in San Jose. But the Dons was able to go off on a winning streak, and they end up winning the anticlimactic winning on the last day, last Sunday, against Gonzaga Bulldogs, to win the West Coast Conference championship. And then Friday night, Kyle Zimmer pitching one of the best pitching performances ever in the short time for the Dons program, being in a regional, winning 3-0 over UCLA, beating the soon-to-be first-round draft pick, one of the top picks of the draft, Garrett Cole, on Friday night. So they fall short, as we will hopefully try to get in contact with Anthony Diarabura, the voice of the USF Dons, and it was a great year. Dons finished the season 32-25, 16-5 in West Coast Conference play. Finished first place outright by themselves, and Dons are going to be losing 9 seniors on the team. And of course, you're going to be losing Steven Yarrow. You're lose two starters on their weekend staff. You're going to lose Matt Lujan, who, by the way, ended up having the Tommy John surgery a few days back. You're going to lose Matt Heiserman, and the way it looks, as Kyle Zimmer is going to be that ace, the Friday starter, and then they're going to have to fill holes. Who's going to be that weekend starter? You go with Jordan Reamer. Does think he had the chance to be one of the Friday starters, or one of the weekend starters, be back in that role, probably be a Saturday starter. So a lot's to but everything. I mean, you look back at the beginning of the season, a lot of prognosticators that this team picked to finish seventh in the conference. You know, they had a lot of good players, like Anthony Diarbora said to listen to at the tail end of their little brief post game wrap. A lot of people had the finish seventh, and some people had the Dons finishing third in the West Coast Conference. So, you know, you look back at the season, the times when they were inconsistent, but you know, it's just is one of those things. You know, a break here or there. If they, you know, I think go back to last night. If you go back to last night, if they win that game, if they, you know, if they feel that ground ball or, you know, make those plays, don't throw the ball away, or, you know, that one bad pitch by Matt Heiserman, that two-run homer, that was the difference. That two-run homer right there, that's the difference. We're talking about right now the Dons in a position of winning tonight and possibly in the driver's seat of winning this regional. So, you know, it is what it is. So, San Francisco falling up just short, and you know, and if had they won last night's game, you take a few of those fielding mistakes back, Dons are in a position possibly tonight of winning one of two games of winning this regional. So, so now with the win, UC Irvine will be taking on UCLA, and it's a little bit about 5:30. That game should be starting around 6. Probably gonna start a little bit after 6, maybe an hour from now at Jackie Robinson Stadium in Los Angeles. UCLA stays alive, and now they will have to beat Irvine twice to win their regional. The winner of that regional will head off to Charlottesville, Virginia, to take on the top-ranked Virginia Cavaliers from the Atlantic Coast Conference in the known as the ACC. Let's check out the Baseball Limited NCAA Regional Baseball scoreboard right now. We're gonna try to get some scores right at this very minute. It's a very important day. A lot of teams who are in a position of playing out of the losers brackets, and elimination day for a lot of teams, and so we're just gonna continue on, and as we got some here for, we're gonna pretty much so pretty much we're gonna right now try to get in contact with Anthony Diarbora. He's our voice of the USF Dons, as we're gonna try to get in contact with him down there, and just as we hope we get in contact with him, as we're gonna get some final scores. So pretty much, but we also had some big upsets though too. If we got a chance, we could also take a look at some of the Women's College World Series as well. So we're not going to be able to get in contact with Anthony right now. He's wrapping up the season. So we're just gonna so we're gonna take a look at it. So we're just gonna take a look at some of the scoreboards already. There have been some teams. There's an upset in the making in one of the regionals. So we could take a look around what's going on around NCAA baseball. As we're going to take a look around on our Baseball Limited postgame show, we're going to have a Baseball Limited special edition of the MLB Draft. Tomorrow is the draft, and we all know Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer, one of the two prospects for UCLA, going to be picked top high, picked high in the draft. We're trying to get the scoreboard. So, your thoughts? I mean, my thoughts of the season. I mean, the Dons had a great season. I knew that this team could win they could win the West Coast Conference, and then at the beginning of the year, and I said pretty much that they were going to have to win their conference outright because they had a lot of losses, non-conference losses. It did not match well in the criteria of their top RPI in the RPI department. So it became apparent they knew they would have to win the conference or they'd be headed home. So we're going to check out the scoreboard and see what's going on. And you also got to remember there were 3 rainouts as well, or 4 rainouts. They only played 19 games at home this year. Remember, all 3 of the or 2 or 3 rainouts were not played. The 2 of those three games played was supposed to be played against UOP, University of Pacific, was wiped out due to rain. And then you look at those other 3 games. The game against Oregon, which was rained out. They couldn't play the field at USF, and they had to force they had to move that game to Lady College over in the East Bay, over across the bay in Oakland, and so they're going to take a look at what's going on. So we're going to look at it. So pretty much, if you look at the Charlottesville Regional, Virginia won their game, so they're advancing to the Super Regionals. It's going to be UCLA. They're 2-1. They're getting ready to take on Irvine. UCLA have to beat UC Irvine twice. If Irvine would have won later tonight against UCLA, they will advance to the Super Regionals. So both Fresno State and San Francisco, the 3-4 seats, are out. They're done. Their season's over. A big upset. Texas Christian in the Fort Worth Regional, they were upset this afternoon by Oral Roberts. ORU upset TCU in the Fort Worth Regional. So TCU, the number 1 seed, the same TCU team who were upset by New Mexico in the Midwest Athletic Conference in the MAC Championship over a week ago, they are out. And then the Tallahassee region, or Rice and Cal, they're playing. It's an elimination game for one of those 2 teams. The winner of that game will take on Baylor for the Houston Regional Championship. Cal needs a win today, and they'll have to play Baylor. They would have to beat Baylor twice to advance to the Super Regionals. So then in the College Station Regional, Texas A&M advancing to the Super Regional. Then it's Clemson taking on UConn in that region, in the South Columbia Regional. South Carolina, the defending College World Series champs of last year, taking care of business. They're 2-0. They're going to be taking on Stetson. All those teams are pretty much in the driver's seat. We got to check out the scoreboard on this later on, as we're going to right now take this. We're going to take this break right now. We'll come right back. You're watching Baseball Unlimited, the USF Diamond Dons post-game wrap on Baseball Unlimited on YouTube. We're going to take this time out, and we'll be coming back for the wrap. Final thoughts, just a moment.